live, and I am excited about being here today. And I hope that you are as well, because we are going to have a very, very cool show this evening. Well, love you right back. I appreciate all you guys being here. And first of all, before we begin into the heart and the meat and potatoes of it, let me tell you what we're going to talk about, and then I do my little introductions and all that stuff. Tonight, we're talking about urban legends. So if you have a friend that loves urban legends, you need to tell them, you need to get on, you need to watch the show. Let's go. Because we're going to be discussing some urban legends that I'm convinced that some of these urban legends, I think some of them might be true. And we'll talk about which ones in just a second. Now, everybody knows. Oh boy, hold on. Let me just get rid of this person here. Okay, bye-bye. And block. Goodbye. All right. Sorry, I had to block somebody on TikTok. But anyway, nonetheless, I want to let everybody know that the St. Michael necklaces that many of you have been asking about are in. They finally arrived. And so this is what you need to do if you want one. I have a select few. Obviously, I don't have a whole store full. But here are it really is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful necklace. You can't there. That's the best I can show it there on the screen there. And here, it's much brighter here. You guys can see it. So if you are wanting a St. Michael necklace, I will send this to you. However, I do ask that you please help the ministry. So anyone who makes a $30 donation today, you go to bishopjameslong.com, scroll down to ministry needs. And if you do that, then I will also send you a special little gift from me to you, just as a thank you gift. I pay for the shipping within the United States only, obviously. So if you do this, just go to bishopjameslong.com. I do ship to the UK. I think the UK is either $18 or $20 to ship. I shipped something the other day to the UK, and I believe it was, I want to say it was like 19 something. So what you can do is you can just add that to the donation, and then just say with a little note saying, "Hey, I'm from the UK. I've already paid for shipping," and I'll be happy to do that. And the reason is because obviously you know that I don't charge for this ministry, and I obviously, this is how I help people. This is how I travel to people's homes. I have to fundraise. I have to. Otherwise, how are you supposed to do it? Donald Trump is not my dad, so I can't really say, "Hey, Dad, give me millions of dollars," and it just doesn't work that way. So again, Bishop James Long, LONG.com, bishopjameslong.com. Scroll down to where it says Ministry Needs. And just make a $30 donation. I'll send you this necklace. I will bless it for you for free. And I'll also include a special gift. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Producer. I'll include a special gift for you as well. So I do have an online store, but tonight, it's better to do it tonight because it's not on the online store. That's why I know that if you make a $30 donation to the ministry tonight, then I know that you will automatically get one of these necklaces. So that's why I want to give you the opportunity to get them first before I put anything on the store. So because you guys are with me from day one, many of you are, and many of you have been asking about these St. Michael necklaces. And so there we are. I want to give that opportunity to you first before I'll put it on the general public. Okay. So that's what you do. Bishop James Long, LONG.com. Bishop James Long, and scroll down to ministry expenses and make your donation, and I'll send it to you either tomorrow or on Monday. So thank you for being there. And also, I want to remind everybody, please make sure you go to the network that sponsors the show. You need to go to their website, folks. And it's KGRADB.com. Thank you, Mr. Producers. Put it on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Again, for those of you who are on TikTok, it's KGRADB.com. KGRAD as in dog, B as in bicycle.com. Now, look, if you love the paranormal and supernatural as much as I do, then you need to go to that site and you need to subscribe. Don't forget, make sure you put Bishop as a promo code, because then you get 30% off your subscription. It's already very affordable. It's very, very affordable as it is right now. But you're going to get a 30% off discount by just placing Bishop in the promo code. Why wouldn't you do it? So take advantage of it. Take advantage of that. And make sure you tell all your friends about that. I love the paranormal. And there have been so many times that I've thought, well, I want to watch a show or I want to listen to a show. And the problem with that is I can't find any decent shows. And, you go on this network or that network, and you're like, that's boring. That's boring. So I go to KGRADB, and you can watch all kinds of shows and listen to I'm telling you, you're not going to regret it. The Sacred Division actually is on KGRADB as well. So KGRADB.com. Yep, this is the necklace that I was talking about just a minute ago. There. The St. Michael necklace. And it just arrived. And so you can go, again, Bishop James Long, LONG.com, bishopjameslong.com. Make a $30 donation. I will send this to you. Plus, I'll offer a free gift to you as well. They're just for me to you. Just saying thank you. You all know, if you follow me now, you all know that I don't get paid for this ministry and I don't charge for the ministry. And so this is why I have a store, so that I can continue to do this ministry and help people for free. Going to cases sometimes can cost up to $1,200 to $1,500 a case. By the time you rent a car and get the hotel and everything else and expenses, it's $1,200 to $1,500. So I do fundraising. That's how I do it. That is how I do it. And until I win the lottery, I'll continue to fundraise because I'm going to continue to do this because I'm the one that talks to the families who are terrified. And they are legitimately terrified. And I'll do whatever it takes for me to get to that family's home. Period. The end. If you don't like it, pity. Go complain to something. Go put your complaint into the complaint box, and we'll make sure that we will read it later. Anyway, that's what I do, and that's what I've got to do. We've got to help people. We have to help people. So, yeah, it is. It is beautiful. No question about that. So again, KGRADB.com. And if you're a moderator on TikTok, if you could do me a favor, just write that down in the chat room. I would appreciate that way people can see it. KGRADB.com. And make sure you put Bishop as the promo code. I have lost weight. I've lost a lot of weight. I feel great. I don't eat sugar. I don't eat carbs. And I drink a lot of water. A lot of sugar-free water. And I walk 5 miles every single day. So, yeah. Well, the reason is the church doesn't financially support us is because we don't have like Rome. We don't have Rome funneling money to each priest. So our priests do not get paid. We do not receive a paycheck. We do not receive a church. We do not receive a housing allowance. We do not receive retirement. We do not receive. If you want a ministry, you fund it yourself. And it's hard. That it's not easy. It certainly is not easy. But that is the way it is set up. And good, bad, or indifferent. Yeah, I've been doing it for 20 years now. It's okay, Julius. BishopJamesLong.com. Okay, BishopJamesLong.com. All right. You know what? Riley's asking, was it hard to give up sugar? I had to educate myself on the sugar-free stuff. So, for example, I love chocolate. I do. If I'm bored, if I'm lonely, if I'm happy, whatever, I go to chocolate. I've always gone to chocolate. But you can actually buy sugar-free chocolate. It's the dark chocolate, the Hershey's dark chocolate. And let me tell you something, folks. I'm an expert on chocolate. Believe me. I can't tell the difference between the sugar-free Hershey's dark chocolate and the regular Hershey's chocolate. I can't tell the difference. Plus, there is Reese's Pieces, they have it. M&Ms, they have sugar-free. Now, you can kind of tell a difference there. But there's other things that you can get for sugar-free as well. And it's gotten much better. It used to be terrible. I mean, really terrible. But now it's gotten actually very, very good. Julius, the fundraise, Julius, I've talked about this many times. I go to people's homes. People ask me to come to their homes, and sometimes I'm traveling 10 hours to get to their home because they're having paranormal activity in their home, and they're frightened. And they ask me to come to their home to bless their home, and they can't afford the expenses. And so I have to rent a car, and then 5 to 7 days at a hotel. That's quite expensive. That's easily $700,000. And by the time you pay taxes and everything else, you're at least $700,000 to $1,000. And then you have to rent a car. So yeah, it's pricey. It's not cheap. It is not cheap traveling to people's homes. And so, yeah, I could say, yeah, I can go to your home, but you have to pay $1,500. A lot of people, I don't think I should burden people with a bill of $1,500 to pay for the expenses because they're already going through extreme emotional stress as it is. And I just don't think clergy should burden them with, oh, and by the way, here's a $1,500 bill it's going to cost me to get to your home. And that's what, here's the expenses. Here's the invoice. This is what it's going to cost. So I try to fundraise, and people are going to say whatever they're going to say. I really don't care. They're going to make all kinds of rude comments, but they're not the ones answering the phone calls at 2:00 in the morning, and they're not the ones traveling 10 hours to these people's homes. So they can just keep their mouths shut as far as I'm concerned. I don't pay attention. I really do not pay attention to the people who are on the sidelines who are being rude or disrespectful. I literally ignore them. Nothing they say to me affects me. Nothing. And so, again, Julius, what you do, bishopjameslong.com, bishopjameslong.com, scroll down to the bottom where it says ministry expenses. Okie doke. And there you go. And I appreciate you asking, Julius. Julius Gallery, LLC. Thank you very much. Julius is on, for those of you who don't know, I have 2 different computers running right now. This is on TikTok, and this is on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And now Julius Gallery, LLC is on YouTube. And Julius, now Julius Gallery, is that is that an art dealership? So... Oh, you retired, no life. Well, Julius, we'll talk. Julius, do me a favor. Send me a message on Facebook. Can you do that, Julius? Send me a message on Facebook. I have quite a few messages, but send me a message. I'll look for it. There it is, and it's on the screen for you, Julius. So make sure you go to that one, right? And then send me a message. I know we've talked before, but just send me a message. And then we can kind of go from there. Is that fair? Excellent. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. You're right. You're right. Is it Iceland? You're right, Marino. You're right. Yeah, you got to be careful about how much sugar-free stuff you do drink. That is true. Well, hello, Scotland. Hello. And I appreciate everybody being here. And thank you so much for being here. And good evening to everyone. Tonight, as I mentioned, we're talking about urban legends. Now, I want to remind everybody, please, in the yes, I'm sorry, I can't read coffee. Is it coffee? Yes, that would be fine. Coffee. That's an interesting name. I love the smell of coffee. The smell of coffee in the morning. Man, there's just nothing like it. But I've never the taste. I cannot pass. I don't know. There is a flavored coffee that I love. It's Royal something. I forgot the name of it, but boy, it is phenomenal. But yeah, I love the smell of coffee. So, I have Texas. Well, hello there, Texas. Well, you said 900 likes. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I appreciate any of you, if you're on TikTok and you're pushing that like, Thank you for that. I sincerely appreciate you pushing that screen. And the reason being, it lets people know, hey, look, we're live. Come on over. We're having a paranormal conversation, and come on over. So I truly appreciate it. Thank you, Janie, and thank you to all you folks. Thank you very, very much. And moderators, hello. I'm in Kentucky now. Let me just say this very quickly. We do ask, please, that if you're in the chat room, just be kind to one another. That's all we're asking. Just be kind. Don't be mean. Don't be disrespectful. Please do not mention demonic names. That's a form of summoning. I never mention a demonic name unless I'm teaching people how to be a demonologist for the church. Otherwise, there really is never a need to mention demonic names. So just please don't do that. And don't spam. Just be respectful. That's all. And California, all right. So, and thank you again for everybody being here on this Friday night. Let's get into our conversation, because I want to talk about the spookiest urban legends, but I want to talk about urban legends perhaps in your state. Now, if you're in another country, I'm sorry, but maybe I can look it up in this show and I can tell you. Cajun country, flushing a baby alligator down the toilet and it's surviving and thriving in the sewers. Yeah, that is true. Genghis Khan says on YouTube, there's an urban legend in Cajun country that you flush a baby alligator, but you should never flush a baby alligator down. You should never do that. Okay, for those of you just joining, and make sure some people are asking me, the website, my website, bishopjameslong.com. Scroll down, ministry expenses, make a $30 donation, and I will send you your St. Michael. It is a beautiful necklace, and I will bless it for you for free. And also, do not forget, folks, please go to kgradb.com, kgradb.com. Subscribe and put Bishop as your promo code, and you get 30% off. People have told me they've subscribed using the promo code. They got their 30% off, and they love it. They love it. So do yourself that favor. All right. Let's get into it. Spookiest urban legend in every state. And Mr. Producer, if you would kind of put that in the chat room to remind people as the show progresses, and moderators, if you would do me that honor, the ministry, the honor as well, to remind people to go to bishopjameslong.com, scroll down to ministry expenses, and make a $30 donation, and I'll send them that link or the necklace. So thank you. All right, Alabama. I've been to Alabama. When I was a kid, I love space. I do. I am a space nerd. Okay, I am. And I mean, my God, I have a Mensa lifetime member pin. I think that qualifies me for super nerd, right? Super nerd. All right, but hey, it's all good. When I was a kid, I went to space camp in Huntsville, Alabama, in 1901, and true story. And maybe 1900, but I did go to space camp, and man, you want to see what it's like. It would be like Disneyland for me is if I go to Kennedy Space Center, which I've never been to. That is a bucket list. Or Huntsville, Alabama, the Space Center. Talking about a fat kid in a candy shop. I am so there. I am like, that is so my Walt Disney. I would never leave. You would never be. Come on, Bishop. We got to go. No. I got to look at this the shuttle that I've been looking at for the past 15 hours. I mean, I am telling you, when it comes to space exploration, NASA, man, I am all there. I am full force all there, and that is the Huntsville, Alabama. Beautiful, love it. But I'm going to go to Kennedy Space Center one day. I am going to go. Oh, Kathy, you have no idea how much I want to go. You have no idea. I've got to win that lottery so I can go. But we're going to go there. One day we're going to go there. You know what, Sonia? I truly believe, Sonia on TikTok is asking about if I believe in UFOs. I do. Absolutely. No question about it. None. There's just too much evidence. There's too much evidence out there right now. And there's very credible sources that are saying that there's something going on, that they've seen something, they've experienced something. There are too many people who are credible, who have nothing to gain from lying. They're not selling the book or trying to be famous, who have told their stories. I absolutely am convinced, without question, that we are not alone in the universe. I am absolutely convinced we are not alone. People say, well, think about this. I've talked about this before, but I'll say it again. A little space nerd fact for you. Our solar system is just a speck of dust in the universe compared to how large and huge the universe is. So imagine if you combine all the oceans together, right? All the oceans. Okay, I can't answer the phone. You combine all the oceans together and you throw a little pebble in the middle of that ocean. That is our solar system. That is how small we are. Now, in saying that, if you get a rocket from Earth to Jupiter, flying at 42,000 miles per hour, 42,000, folks, it would take you 10 years to get to Jupiter. That is how huge our solar system is alone. But yet we are just a speck of dust compared to the entire universe. Think about that. It's amazing. Really, truly is amazing. Okay. Let's get into urban legends, because if I start talking about space, folks, we will talk about 2 hours of space. I'm telling you. Those of you who've been tuning in for the paranormal, you're like, dude, please, okay, enough with the space. You get me on space, you get me on Kennedy Space Center, you get me on the Space Shuttle program, that's it, the Apollo program, and we're going to have a 2 hour, full conversation about it. So, yeah, you don't mind. I do. I do believe in God, obviously. I'm my faith is unwavering. But I also believe that there are other beings, other universes, or not universes, but other life sources. I absolutely, even the Roman Catholic Church had made it very clear that your faith in God, that believing in alien life, it does not affect in a negative way, in any way, of your faith in God. So yeah, I certainly do. Okay. Here we go. I promised you I was going to get into Alabama, but then I started talking about space, and look out. Well, in Alabama, there's an urban legend. If you're in Alabama, tell us if you've heard of this, okay? On TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. The Dead Children's Playground. Well, let's go. I mean, that doesn't sound bad at all, does it? Woohoo! Where do we go? Let's sign up for that. I mean, first of all, you have an urban legend named the Dead Children's Playground. That in of itself is enough for you to say, okay, well, this isn't in Alabama. Haley, it's in Alabama, and this is where it is. Inside Maple Hill Cemetery, one of Alabama's oldest and largest burial sites, there lies a playground that is popular for both the living and the dead, according to Huntsville Local. So Huntsville, Alabama. Swings are often swaying by themselves, and apparitions of little children have been spotted on the playground late at night. So if you've ever heard of this, you have. Okay, Melanie is saying, I'm not in Alabama, but I have heard of it. That would be an interesting place to go. That truly is. That would be a very interesting, just to be able to, I always tell people, if you're a paranormal investigator, and if you're going into a cemetery, you got to always be respectful. I mean, that's families, members who have passed on, for goodness sake. So always be respectful of that and mindful of that. But I have been to a lot of cemeteries through the years, and Cave Hill Cemetery in Louisville, Kentucky. If you don't know about it, Cave Hill, by the way, that's where Colonel Sanders is buried, along with other people. But Cave Hill Cemetery is unbelievably beautiful, just beautiful, and it's quite haunted. Has a lot of activity there. But if you're ever in Louisville, you have to check out Cave Hill Cemetery. Now, what's interesting, though, is right next to Cave Hill Cemetery is a cemetery called And this is what a lot of people know is Eastern Cemetery. That is closed. It's no longer being used. And the reason being is because the person who was in charge of the groundskeeper, he was burying people on top of one another. True story. You can look this up. You can Google this. Eastern Cemetery. And or sometimes he would actually dig people up and toss the bodies in a ravine and then rebury this, the site, the grave site. It was terrible. He went to prison for it. And I actually, I've been there many times. And I have captured some evidence. I'll play it later because I want to get to the other ones. But I'm telling you, that place is crazy. A lot of very active. So Dead Children's Playground, and that's where in Huntsville, Alabama. Now, it was. Oh, that's right. You're right. Yardley says Eastern was featured in the Return of the Living Dead. Yeah. All right. The next one, which is a place that I absolutely want to go to as well one day. I'm planning on it. Hopefully, after I win the lottery, Alaska, the Haunted Igloo Hotel. It's a pretty neat. It's a neat. You guys can't see it, but you can Google this later. The abandoned Igloo Hotel near Cantwell, Alaska, never actually opened for business as various code violations and structural problems plagued the hotel from ever welcoming a single guest. So the building has sat empty for half a century. But some that travel to Alaska's no man's land to see the unique hotel claim to catch a glimpse of the woman in white who supposedly haunts the desolate ruin. So, again, Haunted Igloo Hotel in Alaska. In Arizona, for those of you who are in Arizona, here is an urban legend for you here. And again, this is just some. I'm sure you have more, you know more if this is if you're in the state. Arizona's own version of Bigfoot, which, yes, I do believe in Bigfoot, supposedly lives in a heavily wooded area. It's a rocky escape known as the Mogollon Run or Mogollon Rim. Alleged sightings. Well, thank you very much for the gift on TikTok. I appreciate that. Alleged sightings of the cryptid, which is said to be 7 feet tall and covered in long black hair, date back to the early 1900s. I do believe. You can take me to Huntsville. Alaska. Fair enough. I do believe in Bigfoot. I do. And the reason being is because there are far too many people who have claimed to have seen Bigfoot who are very credible. And I absolutely believe that there is. All right. Here you're okay. Inspectors there in Arizona. In Arkansas, shadow people. Folks, I have seen so many shadow people in my experience as an investigator, as an exorcist. But it says here, a legend, and this is from Country Living, a legend has it that shadow people lurk in the halls of MacArthur Museum of Military History in Little Rock. The museum is housed in a former arsenal tower and is reportedly a paranormal hot spot. In addition to spotting unexplained shadows, visitors have reported hearing disembodied voices and music coming from nowhere. So if you're in Arkansas, let us know if you've ever been there. Yes, Tombstone, Arizona, very, very haunted as well. But these are supposedly urban legends. There's a lot of haunted locations, but these are really considered urban legends. And again, this is from Country Living. This is a site that I saw. California, in Fresno, which, by the way, I can't talk. Again, I promise you, as soon as I'm allowed to talk about what I filmed in California, I will let you guys know. I promise you, I'll let you know. But I can't talk about it right now. But as soon as the network says, "Yep, you can talk about it," boom, you're gonna know all about it. I promise you. I did get to meet Simon Cowell. I did get to meet him while I was filming, which was very, very cool. I got to get very close to his Phantom Rolls Royce, and let me tell you something, that was unbelievable. I have never seen a vehicle like that. But he was very nice, very small man, but very, very kind and very nice with his time. Okay, in Fresno, California, here's an urban legend, Nightwalker. So it says here, just over a decade ago, video surveillance footage recorded by a resident in Fresno, California, captured a mysterious creature with long white legs and a small head. Locals speculated as to what exactly the creature was: extraterrestrial, cryptid, or a teenage prank. It's not known for certain, but the legend of the Fresno night crawler lives on. So again, you can Google these later on if you want. You know this one. I'm sure you know this one. And we've heard it. I've heard this one too. Colorado. Folks, you know, the Octagon Hall. I'm sorry, Maria, I just saw this in YouTube. I want to go. You know, I've talked to some people in the Octagon Hall, and they've asked me if I would go there once, but I couldn't because I had ministry. But I absolutely, Maria Duff, if you know anything, if you know the people who are in charge of Octagon Hall, please let me know. Well, we could do a live show there. I'll do a Friday show. Like, it's an Octagon Hall in Franklin, Kentucky. It's supposed to be very haunted, a lot of activity, and so if heck, we could do a live show right there on the Friday. That would be fun. I would really enjoy that. So, well, thank you, Maria. Thank you. And if you would do me a favor and have the people contact me on Facebook. That's the easiest one because I have over 10,000 emails and it's easy to get them lost. But tell them, if you would, to contact me there, facebook.com/Bishop James Long. And, oh yeah, that would be great. I would love it. Love to go there. I've always wanted to go there. All right. This one, folks, I've been to Colorado. Colorado was on my bucket list. I had a case in Colorado. It was a demonic case. It appeared on television. It was a pretty violent case. Now, let me tell you this. I love Colorado. Love. It just, as soon as I got off the plane, I could smell, and I know it sounds crazy, you could smell the pine. I mean, it was just a freshness. It was one of the best trips I've ever taken in my life, ever. I loved it. And I even went Bigfoot investigating with some friends. We caught some really interesting, we caught and I'm not going to show it, I'll show it next time when I do a Bigfoot show, but we caught a shelter that there's no way a human could have done it. No way. Impossible. And I'll show it one day. I'll when I do the Bigfoot show. Yeah, you're right. As long as a bear is not involved, boy. But I do. I went there. I went on the mountain, and I could not. I just kept thinking of John Denver. I was seriously. I mean, I just like, man, if someone was just blaring that John Denver, it would have been heaven. It would have. But it was beautiful. Okay, so here it is, Colorado. You've probably heard of this urban legend. The Denver airport, allegedly, urban legend says it's a portal to hell. Well, the portal to hell is believed to be, believe it or not, the Denver International Airport. Conspiracy theorists and select locals share the belief that the Denver International Airport might provide a direct connection to the underworld. You see, several bizarre accidents have occurred on the property, fueling the legend, not to mention mysterious architectural details, such as gargoyle statues and murals depicting fires add to the theory. But it's the statue of a demonic red-eyed horse that features one of the most disturbing stories of all. While crafting the statue, a piece fell on its maker, severing an artery and ultimately killing him. And the statue was completed by the artist's estate and it currently greets travelers as they land at the airstrip, which I've seen. And it is kind of like, dude, why does he have to have a weird eyes? I mean, you know, it is. No, but it's kind of weird. But okay. Well, David, I appreciate that, but I'm not. But thank you for, well, David's gone. Okay, Connecticut. Connecticut. So here we go. Okay, no, I am not wearing makeup. I'm just naturally beautiful. So I had to do it. I had to do it. You're the one. Hey, I had to do it. No, I do have like little powder on my because I have a great big forehead, and obviously with the lights coming on, you don't want to see a spotlight reflection. So that's what I have. All right. Connecticut. Let's talk about an urban legend in Connecticut. You know what? By the way, I'm going to Mr. Producer, just so that you can have heads up. Later on today, I'm going to be sending somebody a copy of my book, Through the Eyes of an Exorcist, and I'll be sending that to you. I am working on another book, and I am working on that now, and hopefully I should have that out this year. That's the goal. So there we go. This will be out later on today. Someone is going to get this, so we'll have to do a little fun giveaway, and I might just give one of these away. So we'll see. How do you buy it? Well, you can go on to bishopjameslong.com, and if you click on the store link, you can. It's listed there. You just follow the link there. It'll take you right to the place where you can order. You order it directly from the manufacturer or whatever we call it, and then they'll send it out to you. But again, for those of you who are just joining, I do have the St. Michael necklaces. They are in. And the only thing that I do ask is that you please go to Bishop James Long, LONG.com, bishopjameslong.com. Scroll down to where it says ministry expenses, and please make a donation of $30. And if you do that, I'll send it to you and an extra little gift. I'll throw that. It could be anything. The gift could be it's a nice gift. So just a way for me to say thank you. So again, Bishop James Long. Only 2 people have purchased the necklace so far. That's it. So people must be thinking that, I got 300 orders. Nope. So Bishop James Long, LONG.com. Scroll down ministry expenses, and there you go. Okay. Yeah. I will. I bless them for free. You can't buy a blessed item because that's simony. So if you go to the store and you buy anything, they're not blessed. And then after you buy them, before I send it out, I bless them for you for free. It's something that I do for folks. You can ask questions, but hang on with your questions until the top of the hour. Okay. Cause I want to try to get through the urban legends, and on the top of the hour, I'll answer your paranormal questions. So just bear with me for a moment. And I promise you, I will get to your questions. Okay. Thank you, Carl. Okay. Connecticut. Urban legends, melon heads. I have had people who've come to me and said that they have personally had this experience. So the urban legend says this chilling legend doesn't take place in one part of the state, but in several regions, making it all the more terrifying. According to the Connecticut Post, melon heads are said to be either a band of deranged escapees of an asylum or a group of remote settlers who have suffered facial abnormalities due to inbreeding. Melon head roads exist notably in Shelton, Milford, and Trumbull, in which people claim that the melon heads will attack their car with rocks in order to deter them from coming back on their land. If you're feeling adventurous, Sawmill City Road in Shelton is known to be their primary stomping ground. So again, I promise you, I have had people who have had this experience. So that urban legend, according to people who are very reliable, some friends of mine, they have seen it. And they know the difference between a mask. This was not a mask. You could see the whole facial feature and everything. And they saw a couple of these melon heads, and these people started throwing rocks at their car. So I'm just giving you heads up on that. If you go, I have not seen it. I've not been to Connecticut. I can't vouch for whether it's valid or not, but I can tell you that people who've told me they've experienced have never lied to me, and they've always been up on the up and up. So Sawmill City Road in Shelton, Connecticut. Okay. Yeah, sounds like a wrong turn. Isn't that's true. Here's another one, Delaware. In Delaware, a haunted Fort Delaware is an urban legend. Given the history of Fort Delaware, located in Delaware River's Pier Patch Island, it's no surprise to see that it's stuffed to the brim with paranormal legends. You see, the now abandoned fort was once a prison during the Civil War, and roughly 2,700 prisoners were said to have died on the property. And of course, a lot of people say that you hear sometimes screams, sometimes you'll hear people will see apparitions. So again, I've never been there. I can't say yeah or true, but I can tell you that some people have said that they've seen this. Well, and blessing to you. Skinwalkers. I did a live video, a live feed just a couple weeks ago on Skinwalkers. I have never seen one. How my grandmother was shaman. She was a Cherokee, and she talked about Skinwalkers. I've never seen one myself. Now, Willie Windwalker Gibson, who is a great friend of mine, he is a shaman, and he has seen Skinwalkers as well. So it's interesting. It's very, very interesting. And by the way, for those of you who are tapping the screen, thank you for that. Thank you. That's very, very kind of you. You guys are awesome, and I appreciate it so much. So thank you. We did actually. I did vampires. I'm going to probably do that show again because I've gotten some more information. I don't believe personally. I don't believe that there are vampires such as the Twilight movies, right? Or Count Dracula, Vlad Tepes. I know there are people who claim to be vampires, but I can claim to be Santa Claus, but how do you validate that, right? So that's my problem. Okay, I promise you on the top of the hour, I promise, I will get to your paranormal demonology questions. I promise you, I'm not ignoring you. But the first hour, we're going to talk about urban legends, and I just bear with me. Okay, so on the top of the hour, just about 15 minutes, we'll get into your questions. Now, here in Florida, okay, I got a Facebook message. Thank you. You need to come to Galena, Illinois. Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I studied in Illinois. I studied at Loyola University in Chicago, and that's where I graduated from my undergraduate degree in the seminary. And then at St. Joseph, and then I went to graduate school in Mundelein, Illinois, and beautiful campus. So I've been to several very, very haunted locations in that area. So yeah, okay. In Florida, the urban legend of the Devil's Chair. Have you heard of this one, guys? Roughly 40 minutes north of Orlando rests the small town of Cassadaga. It's a hotbed for mediums and spiritualist camps. Now, and it's, one of the local cemeteries that you'll find what is known as the Devil's Chair. Allegedly, the urban legend says anyone who sits in the brick chair at the stroke of midnight is rumored to receive direct orders from the devil in the form of whispers. Folks, don't do that. That's probably bad. Don't do it. Stay away from it. But he doesn't just show up for free, you see. No. Legend has it that if you leave a can of unopened beer on the chair overnight, it will be completely empty by the next morning. What, the devil's going to take a wig? I mean, come on. Because not even the devil himself can turn down a nice cold offering, according to the Country Living website. So, first of all, don't do that. Do I believe the devil is showing up drinking a beer? No, I don't. But that is it's an invitation. It's a form of invitation. So even if the urban legend is not true, just don't do it. Just don't do it. Okay. I mean, really, draft beer, light beer. I mean, what kind of beer are you going to, all right. Now, I have also had friends who have validated this. In Georgia, there's an urban legend called the ghost car. The case of the phantom car dates back actually to 2002, when police were chasing down a vehicle in Garden City, Georgia. The hot pursuit came to a screeching halt when the car seemingly vanished through a chain link fence. The incident was caught on a police dash cam. And I actually had the opportunity to speak to one of the police officers, and he is absolutely convinced that this was a ghost car. So again, you can Google this. There's actually, you can see the police dash cam is available online for you to watch. It's called Georgia Ghost Car, and it's crazy. It really is. They can't explain it. They cannot. Yeah, Christine, talking about Christine, isn't that true? Yeah. Well, Buster, I don't know about. I appreciate the compliment, but honestly, people I always think that there's makeup or what's my on the screen. It looks a little orange because people say I have a filter on, but I don't know how to turn a filter off. So I don't know how to do that. On Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, it looks that's not a normal complexion, but for whatever reason, I don't know. I don't know how to fix it. So to me, I kind of look like a pumpkin there. Well, thank you, Buster. I appreciate that. All right, Hawaii, the urban legend, the Green Lady Snatcher. That doesn't sound good. Kids, beware of the Green Lady Snatcher, a childless woman with slimy green skin. Let's sign up for a date. And sharp teeth. Let's not. Who kidnaps unsupervised children that dare enter the Wahawa Gulch. I probably destroyed that name. Gulch on the island of Oahu, whatever. OAHU. If you guys can do it better, knock yourself out. So anyway, don't go there. All right, next, Idaho, the Lake Pend Oriole Paddler. All right. Well, thank you, Rainin. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'll get to your questions in just a second, folks. On the top of the hour, I'll answer your questions on the top of the hour. I promise. So beneath the surface of Idaho's Lake Pend Oriole lives the infamous paddler, Paddler. It's a serpent-like sea creature that might make you think twice before jumping into the water. Sightings of the creature date back to the 1940s, but no photographs have ever been captured. You know, I saw that someone said that they captured just recently a Bigfoot on video, and I thought, oh, good, this is exciting. I said, send it to me. And he's like, oh, yeah. And then I got the video, and I'm thinking, dude, it's the 21st century. Why is your video so grainy? You said you shot it with an iPhone like 12 or something like that. I mean, okay, why is it that every time someone records a Bigfoot or some other paranormal, whatever creature, why is it that every single time the videos are grainy? Doesn't that drive you crazy? That drives me crazy. It drives me nuts. But it just seems like every single, why can't we have a video that's not grainy, that actually looks like it's a 21st century camera from a phone, like an iPhone or Android? I don't know. I don't get it. Okay. Thank you, Kimberly. And thank you for everyone being here. I appreciate all of you. People are asking again. I'll again, moderators, if you can do me a favor and just on TikTok, just remind people, that way I don't have to keep mentioning. But yes, I do have the St. Michael necklace. They did come in. And so you can order yours today. Go to Bishop James Long, Long, Bishop. And I don't have a whole massive amount. So bishopjameslong.com. Scroll down to where it says ministry expenses. And I do ask that you please make a $30 donation. I'll pay for the shipping in the United States. I will bless it for free, and I'll include a free gift. Okay. Again, bishopjameslong.com. Scroll down to where it says ministry expenses. I ask that you make a $30 donation, and I will bless that for you for free. Plus, I'll include a free gift. Remember, all of it goes to funding the ministry. So really, you're helping me to get to people's homes, and that's what you're doing. And I'm also offering several things to you. All right, in Illinois, Resurrection Mary. The state's most infamous ghost is that of Resurrection Mary, which I've been to this cemetery before. Stories about Mary are plenty, and she is a well-known spirit that haunts much of the Archer region. According to a Chicago Reader, just southwest of Chicago on Archer Avenue in Justice, Illinois, across the street from Resurrection Cemetery, is a bar called Chet's Melody Lounge. And Chet's is a classic roadside tavern with pool table, jukebox, popcorn machine, large clientele of bikers. But Chet's has an unusual tradition. You see, every Sunday, the staff leaves a Bloody Mary at the end of the bar for a ghost. So apparently, there's this Resurrection Mary that occurs as well. We all know, I don't know if this is an urban legend or not, but according to Country Living website, the Roswell UFO crash site in Mexico, probably one of the most famous, well-known urban legends, if you will, or UFO event. And Roswell, New Mexico is considered by many to be the Mecca of all things UFO related. In July 1947, something crashed in a rural region of Roswell. Shortly thereafter, the public information officer, Lieutenant Walter Haut, immediately issued a press release stating that it was indeed a flying saucer that had crashed. And from my understanding, recanted that later. In Maryland, the Goat Man. Deep in the woods near Bowie, Maryland, there is believed to be a creature, half human, half goat, by the name of Goat Man. It is said that the cryptid is part of a failed science experiment that was conducted at the nearby Beltsville Agricultural Research Center. The legendary slayer is rumored to lurk the woods of and back roads of Maryland with an axe in hand, ready to torment any teen or dog that crosses its path. Oh, that's very interesting. There was I saw Terror in the Woods, church in Texas. There was, I would love to know. I would love to know. If you guys know who these people are, please tell them to contact me. Please. I want to go to this church. I want to go to this church. But I was watching the television show called Terror in the Woods. And but it was a church. It was an abandoned church in Texas. And basically, so it says here, it was on the Travel Channel, security guards spent a terrifying night at a haunted church in the middle of the woods in Texas. Two monster hunters soon become the hunted when they venture into the North Carolina. Well, this says North Carolina, but actually it was this was in Texas, because they said it was in Texas. So, but anyway, what happened is there was a church in Texas. It was an old abandoned church there, and it was in the wooded area. And these two security guards were there, and every security guard there, they all left. They all frightened. They were all frightened, and they were terrified, and they ran away. They could not stay because the activity was so. Well, Penny, you know, if that's a Grapevine. Oh, is it Grapevine? Grapevine, Texas. Is that what it is? Okay, Penny, thank you. I didn't know that. I would love, if you know these people, please let me know, because I really want to go to this place. So if you know them, thank you, Penny. Thank you very, very. That's very kind of you. If Penny said it's in Grapevine, Texas church, but I saw that, and I mean, from what they were explaining, it was terrifying. And of course, you know how the Travel Channel did a great job with recreating the scene, but all their security guards couldn't keep a security guard there because they would all leave because it was sign me up. So if you guys know, if you know the people who are involved, please tell them to contact me. I want to go to that church. I would, in a heartbeat right now. So I'm just throwing it out there. If you know those folks, facebook.com/Bishop James Long. That is a place that I want to go to. In Massachusetts, the Hoosac Tunnel. You see, this is an urban legend. In the mid-19th century, over 200 people died during the construction of the railroad tunnel between the Massachusetts towns of North Adams and Florida. The tunnel is now off the stuff of basically local folklore, nicknamed the Bloody Pit, and tales of the paranormal phenomena surround the infamous local. Don't go there because people say just stay away from it. It's dangerous and it's not very secure. So I just got to give you guys a heads up on that. Oh, Lithuania! Wow. Well, see, on this, Hope says I'm not interested in experiencing these legends, but I do want to go to that church in Texas. I do. I want to find out where this church is, the name of the church that was in These Woods Are Haunted, or Terror. I don't know if it's called These Woods Are Haunted or The Terror in the Woods. I can't remember the show, but anyway, if you saw it and you know what I'm talking about, please let me know the name of the church and who I can contact. I want to go to that church. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Jax. Thank you. Can a police chaplain get that permitted? What do you mean, Haley? So Indiana, the Devil's Road. According to legend, sometime in the 1960s, a school bus in Dubois County suddenly stopped on the railroad tracks and a train barreled right through it, killing all the children inside. Those who are brave enough to visit the scene of the supposed accident, which has since been dubbed the Devil's Road, are allegedly visited by the spirits of the dead children. Some even put baby powder on their cars and claim that handprints suddenly appear. I don't know. Yeah, it is. Bishop. No. Yeah, Bishop. No. Bishop. Okay. So Rude Dog is asking. No. Here, these are the only accounts that I have on TikTok, and I even pinned it on my TikTok account. At Bishop James Long, no period, no dot, no nothing. And at Bishop James Long .official. That's it. Those are the only accounts that I have on TikTok. No other account. Any other account besides that, they're false, they're fraud. Report them. They should be put in prison for what they're doing. It's just terrible what they're doing. So many of these scammers. Get a life. If these scammers put half as much energy as actually getting a job as they do than ripping people off, then they might find that life is much better working for a living without having to break the law, and you can actually make something of yourself. Just saying. Okay, off the platform. All right. A few more minutes, and then we're going into I'll answer your questions. In Iowa, the Stony Hollow Spirit urban legend. The cliff near Stony Hollow Road in Burlington, Iowa, is supposedly haunted by the spirit of a young woman named Lucinda. And according to legend, she jumped off the cliff after suffering a heartbreak. And those who climb to the top of the cliff and say her name 3 times will suddenly see her shadow appear alongside them. Yeah, and then scare the hell out of you, and then you fall off the cliff. And then we got another urban legend. Probably not a good idea to do that. All right, Kansas, the haunted water tower is an urban legend. The Bel Air Water Tower in Wichita, Kansas, is a subject of many haunting accounts. The story goes that during the construction of the tower, a daredevil climbed to the top, then tragically slipped and fell to his death. Rumor has it that the workers didn't realize someone had fallen, and construction continued as the rest of the tower was built on top of his dead body. Now, according to this urban legend, you can still hear the sound of the dead man tapping on the bottom of the water tower, hoping that someone will set him free. Wow, that's kind of creepy, isn't it? In Kentucky, the Hot Rod Haven Ghost. You see, the ghostly story of Hot Rod Haven dates back to the 1950s when a young couple were driving to a school dance. And as they sped down the curvy Mitchell Hill Road, they crashed the car and died on the scene. Since then, nearly 25 lives have been claimed on this dangerous road. It's believed that you can spot the spirit of the young girl who was killed on the road many decades ago. Just be sure to keep your eyes on the road so that you too don't become part of the legend. That sounds like a good idea to me. All right, so let's get into some of your questions, and then we, if we have some more time, we can get into some more of the urban legends. I also have some very, very cool articles that I want to share with you as well. So, would you consider coming to check out Dockett's Grove and where? in Ireland. My dear friend, I struggled just to get to people's homes in the States. I would love to go to Ireland, and I would check out any and every hot spot there is in Ireland. But regrettably, I struggle just to get to people's homes. That's why I have fundraising events so that I can get to people's homes and help them with activity. But I certainly would love to. I just got to win that lottery. It hadn't happened yet, but maybe one day. Okay. The ectoplasms. I skinwalkers, I am not an expert on skinwalkers. I know the theory behind them. I know that there are people who claim that they have seen these things. Now, I will tell you, I have investigated the paranormal now for 35 years. 35 years ago was my first time that I investigated. I have never seen a skinwalker. That doesn't mean that they don't exist. I have personally never experienced what I would identify as a skinwalker. So I think that's the best I can answer there. Bishop, as a paranormal investigator, are there things I can do without getting clergy involved? That's a good question. Inspector. Oh, yeah, the Banshee. As a matter of fact, I just did a video. I just did a duet with what appeared to could have been a Banshee. A lot of people ask me this question. What can we do? Well, thank you very much. Thank you, Julius. Thank you. What can you do as an investigator if you go to a location and activity starts? Okay, first of all, understand, if you're going to be a paranormal investigator, you understand there's consequences for actions, right? So anytime you try to make communication with the spirit world, you don't know who you're communicating with. So we all know as paranormal investigators that there are dangers that go with investigating. That goes along with the territory. So let's say you go to someone's home and you begin praying and activity begins to become violent. The bangings, religious objects are desecrated, the smell of sulfur, animals are terrified, someone might get scratched or pinched or, a whole variety of things that's violent. I always tell people, no question, you pray. Now, there is a prayer that you can do as a paranormal investigator and even in your home. And I do it and once a week. I bless my home once a week religiously. I always do it. And the prayer is called Epiphany of the Doors. All right. Epiphany, EPIPHANY, Epiphany of the Doors. And you can Google that. And it's a very beautiful prayer. You need to do it over every single doorway, and you'll know what I'm talking about. Once you Google it, it'll tell you how to do it. And every single one, everyone can do Epiphany of the Doors. But let me tell you something to be fair, for full transparency reasons. If you're a paranormal investigator and the activity is violent and you begin praying the Epiphany of the Doors, you have to understand that is a form of provocation. You're going to get a reaction to that. And that reaction could be amplified. That's where the danger lies. Because once you begin to do this, then the activity can become so severe. And if you're not prepared for that, or if you don't know how to handle that, then what are you going to do? See, you can certainly, absolutely, you call upon St. Michael. You say the Our Father. If you're Catholic or devoted to Mary, of course, you offer intercessory prayers for Mary. If you pray the Rosary, there are prayers, no question, you pray. Psalm 23, Psalm 91. Again, and you also, the St. Michael prayer. I say the St. Michael prayer all the time. St. Michael, the Archangel, defend us in battle, be our protection against the malice snares of the devil. It goes on. Now, there's a short form and there's a long form. The short form is what I pray. But you have to understand that if there is a true demonic infestation, if there's a demon that is present, and you begin to pray, you're going to get a response. Sometimes that response can be something being thrown at someone. That response could be a religious object. It could be desecrated. Sometimes the response could be someone could get hurt. And that's where you have to be very, very cautious, because you don't want to hurt anybody. You don't want to put anyone in a precarious situation where they get punched or scratched or bit, or even have an attachment. So you got to be very cautious. When you're dealing, if it's a legitimate demonic activity, my advice to you is this: get clergy involved who know how to handle this situation. Because if you do something, even if you have good intentions, but if you do something like provocation through prayer, you could cause the activity to be amplified. And I may not be able to get to the family's home. I mean, it could be in California. So I can't even get to the local area, let alone California or New York or Wisconsin or Minnesota. So you understand the problem. There are very few clergy that actually are called to do this ministry. And there are many clergy who do this ministry, but who also charge a substantial amount of money. I have never charged a penny, not one penny. Yeah, that may be honorable and et cetera, but at the same time, I'm the one that's always having to raise funds because of it. Now, sure, if I charge $5,000 every time I went to someone's home, then I would never have to do fundraising. So it's kind of like, well, what do? And I choose to do the not charging. So just be careful. The question here is Monstar Sports and Entertainment is asking, well, can you explain more about religious artifacts being desecrated? What does that mean? Have you, for example, if you've ever seen a crucifix, where I have seen a crucifix, you can literally, it's nailed to the wall. Of course, it has a hook, but you see it slowly turn upside down as a form of mockery. Or many times it will fly off the wall. And I've seen where that we were doing the minor rite of exorcism, and the crucifix, actually, it was like someone had taken their hand and just flicked it right off of the wall, and the where the feet part came and hit one of the people right in the temple. I've also seen it where a crucifix was on the wall, and it was like someone had placed their hand on top of the crucifix and shoved it as hard as they could, and it hit the ground and shattered everywhere. So that's what we mean by desecration. Any type of form of destruction of the artifact, whether it be a picture, whether it be a crucifix, rosary. I've seen someone was praying. We had a minor rite of exorcism once, and someone was praying the rosary. And this rosary was brand new. I mean, it was perfect. It was a beautiful rosary. And they were praying, and all of the beads just started falling. It was almost like someone had cut the cord. And they all fell right there on the floor. And so that's a form of mockery. So that's what I mean by as far as being desecrated. Well, Hope Lily Stargazer, that's a good question. Why aren't these people being protected? Understand this. When you enter into a home or a building that has a demonic infestation, and you are going in battle with the evil, there are consequences for the action, good and bad. And as someone who combats evil, I understand that, and I accept that there are consequences. Just as there are consequences if you jump in a cage and you want to go shark diving, there could be negative consequences for that. The same thing for this. When you're fighting evil, it is a battle. And in battle, people can get harmed. And so, but the scratches, the bites, the punching, the religious objects are desecrated. These are what I refer to as parlor tricks that the demonic does to you to force you to stop. Because it's the demonic that it's fear of you. Because once you utter the words of God, once you begin to pray and invoke the name of the saints above in heaven, then it is truly, indeed, it is the demonic that is trembling in fear. And so they will do parlor tricks to force you to stop what you're doing. And so that's what we have to understand, is that when you're battling evil, you will have those days where the evil fights back. And you just cannot be intimidated by that. And so that's where faith comes in. So a lot of people think that just because you're a Christian, you'll never be attacked by the demonic. And that's not true. That is not true at all. I have performed 30 documented exorcisms on people who are violently possessed, and the majority of them were Christian. And people tell me, no, there's no such thing. A Christian can't be possessed. Folks, listen to me. I'm the one who's answering the calls. I'm the one who's going to people's homes. I'm the one who's doing the investigation. I'm the one who's seeing the possession. So yes, there can. I'm not giving you an opinion based on just an opinion. I'm giving you an opinion based on what I've seen and what I have witnessed firsthand. And so you have to be the idea that just because you're Christian, the demonic will never fight against you. Well, that's not true at all. At all. Remember, even Jesus was tempted. Temptation is not a sin. Falling into temptation is where the sin lies. So the idea that we'll never be tempted or the demonic will never, ever try to attack us or hurt us, that's just simply not true. That's not true. But you can't be intimidated by that. You cannot. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Annalise McKell, Blue Sky. Annalise McKell, her name was, well, you might know her through the Emily Rose, right? The Exorcism Emily Rose was a very devout Catholic, very unbelievably devout Catholic. And she, in fact, I'm convinced that she had suffered from possession. So, yeah, someone was asking me about are there ranking of demonic entities? There are. For example, we know that there are ranking of angels. Now, so let me explain this before we go in, because I don't want to lose people here. When you're talking about angelology, which, by the way, I teach angelology online. So if you want to learn, well, I have a class online. I teach demonology, angelology, paranormal studies, and genealogy. I teach all four. The reason that I teach genealogy is because it teaches you what you need to know. If you go in and investigate a place, a location, you need to learn what you need to look for and where to go to find sources, to find the history of the location. So I teach all four courses. You learn at your own pace and you learn online. And you go to bishopjameslong.com/class. That's it. And you sign up there. Now, if you sign up now, I can't obviously put you into the class because I'm online. But again, paranormal class, bishopjameslong.com / whatever it's called, class. Okay. And you can learn demonology, genealogy, paranormal studies, and angelology. So when you're talking about angelology, there are three. Some people refer to them as spheres. Other people refer to them as tiers or orders. The language is interchangeable. They mean the same thing. The first tier, the highest order of angels, are seraphim, cherubim, and thrones. Your middle orders are dominions, virtues, and powers. And the lowest orders, or the third ranking sphere, if you would call it, are principalities, archangels, and angels. Now, theologians believe that indeed, just as there are ranking angels in heaven, there are also ranking angels in hell as well. Yeah, do not ever invite demons. Certainly do not ever do that. Oh, yeah, Mansfield. Yeah, I Mansfield, Ohio Reformatory would be phenomenal to go to. I've never been there. So Sharon says, my first group paranormal investigation was at Mansfield, Ohio Reformatory earlier this year. She says, my friend, a young girl, 20 years old, was scratched 3 times on her neck. I can feel spirits, know what they are. I can communicate with them. I was angry for, I called him out by his name, told him he would not hurt anyone else. It said, pray to Jesus, and felt we were protected. Nothing else touched or hurt. Yeah. You have to understand, with your faith, you certainly call upon God for protection, no question. But see, here's the thing. People want to do this, and please understand, people want to go to these locations and they want to investigate. But they also have this belief that they can surround themselves and protect themselves and nothing can happen. It also says in Scripture, thou shalt not put the Lord your God to test. That's exactly what one is doing when you go into one of these locations and you are just assuming, well, I have faith and therefore nothing is going to harm me. Well, because I have faith. Well, you're also putting the Lord your God to test. So you can't have it both ways. And that's what people don't like when I tell them that you go into a location that might have a demonic infestation that's present. First of all, what are you doing there in the first place? And second of all, yes, you need to keep your faith and you have faith strong, but you also need to also understand that the minute you step foot in that location, there are consequences for being present. You can't take those consequences away. And that's where I tried to educate the paranormal community and saying, look, you can't remove that aspect to investigating because it's going to remain there no matter what. And you have to be very, very careful about that, especially dealing with demonic entities. I've never had an attachment. I've certainly been hit. I've been scratched. When I was at Bobby Mackey's with Ghost Adventures, I had a recorder, one of my favorite recorders. I loved it. And I was in the back room where Zach had his issue on the show. And I felt like it was here on this hand. And it felt like a lighter, like 3 lighters were being placed right underneath my hand. And that's exactly, it felt like one. Have you ever seen one of those torch lighters? You know, when you turn on, it goes really, it's forceful. That's kind of what it felt like, but it was 3 of them and I could feel it. I felt the heat. I felt the pain immediately. And I dropped my recorder and the recorder shattered. But that irritated me. That made me mad. It's like, that was my favorite recorder. So I ended up getting another one. But I've had that before. And of course, when the exorcisms that I have performed have been, some of them have been very memorable. No, Austin Kelly, thank you so much for that question. Can you ever save a demon? No. I don't care what anyone says. Remember, if anyone ever tells you that you can save a demon, walk away from them. They have no idea. They do not know what they're talking about when it comes to demonology. You cannot save. I'm trying to be as serious as I possibly can here. You cannot save a demon, period. The reason being because they've already been judged. They've already been condemned. Remember, they were in the presence of God and freely rejected God because of his love for us. Anybody who tells you that you can save a demon, they're going to get you in trouble. As God as my witness, I give you my word that if you go around trying to communicate with demons to try to save them, I swear to you that you will be calling me one day. I cannot get more serious than that. You cannot. And the idea, because why? Because the idea that we, as the created beings, mortal beings, sinful beings as we are, we somehow are going to be able to do what God cannot do, that's ego. That is very egotistical. If they were in the very presence of God and they still freely chose to reject God, then what makes us think that somehow we have this special gift that we're going to just change their mind, even though they were in the presence of God? Do you see how unbelievably incorrect that is? Do not fall into that trap. I give you my word as God is my witness. The moment you begin to try to communicate with a demonic entity to change their mind is the minute that that's the very moment that you do not realize that the devil has already beaten you. The devil's already won. Because now they're going to reel you in. And you're going to have one hell of experience. Yeah, stay away from that. Stay away from that. Yeah, you don't want to and the Book of Solomon, ritual summoning of angels. Well, yeah, okay. First of all, the Lesser Key of Solomon. The Lesser Key of Solomon is the belief that Solomon had this ring. By the way, which I have the ring, not Solomon's ring, but I have a ring that's allegedly that was allegedly Solomon. So I have this Solomon's ring on the emblem and all this other stuff. And I show this to people when I do conferences and things of this nature. The idea was that Solomon, there was this ring that was created in heaven that was given to Solomon by Michael with the ability to summon demons to do his bidding. And he can that he could force them to make temples and all this other stuff and speak to flowers and speak to whatever. Folks, utter nonsense. The sole purpose of that is to sell a documentary, The Lesser Key. Stay away from that. It is not true. Matter of fact, I've had several cases where people would find these sigils of the Lesser Key of Solomon and this belief that they could summon these demons to do their bidding, and they would use these sigils. And there are online where you can search where they began to summon particular demons to do their particular bidding. And they summoned a demon, all right. And then they had to summon Bishop Long. So that the Lesser Key of nonsense, absolute nonsense. And I'm telling you that from someone. I have had cases where people did just that, and they paid a very dear price for that. Do not do that. I won't sell the ring. Let's see. Is there a case that? Yes. I think Liano. Is there a case that I could not help? Yeah. And I'll tell you why. I've had people contact me, like, for example, let's say that you have a friend and you're convinced that this friend has either a demonic attachment or there's an infestation going on or even possession. And then I tell you, say, well, have your friend contact me and we'll make the arrangements of me trying to get there. And the person doesn't do it. Now, that's frustrating for me because I can't force my services upon anybody. I can't say, well, I'm coming to bless your home whether you like it or not. I can't. That's against the law. Can't do it. So, yeah, there have been many cases where I have wanted to help the families or help the individuals more than they wanted to help. And there's nothing I can do. Or I've had people contact me and they send me all the evidence, and clearly there's something going on in their house. I mean, there is something going on. I'm thinking, and I tell them, okay, I'm willing to come to your home. And I said, I got to do some fundraising. I've got to try to raise funds so I can get to your home. So let's start planning this. And then I explain everything. This is how we're going to do it. And then they contact me the next day. No, I decided I don't want you to. Like, what? You've been contacting me for the past month. You've been sending me all the evidence, and clearly the evidence is there, and you're terrified. Yeah. So in those cases, it's happened. No, I've not had a situation where there was an infestation, a demonic infestation, and I have performed the minor rite of exorcism, and it did not work. I have not had that case. Thankfully, the 30 exorcisms that I have performed, they have been successful, not because of Bishop Long. They've been successful because of God. So I'm an instrument that God is using. And that's, once you learn that, then that's a little, you have to learn humble pie real fast because it's not me that's expelling the demonic, it's God. Okay. Yeah, recovery. Yeah. Let's see. Do I meditate? Well, Austin Kelly's asking, do I meditate? I guess it depends on your definition of meditation, because I see prayer as a form of meditation. So I pray, and I do calm my mind. There's beautiful music, that prayerful meditation you can use. And I like that as well. So I guess that's a form of meditation. Mars, I performed 30 exorcisms on people who were possessed. Yeah. Okay. I have contacted people on YouTube or on TikTok, and I've told them, hey, look, I'm willing to help you. You got to let me know where you're located, and you got to communicate, and they don't. There's nothing I can do. So I mean, I'm not going to chase people, folks. I have thousands and thousands of people requesting my help. I don't have time chasing people down. If they're on social media, I just don't have time to chase people down and say, please let me bless your home for free. Let me spend $1,500 so I can come. I don't have the time for that. So what I do is, if people have an issue, and please tell people this, on your friends or whomever, if they have an issue and it's legitimate, then they can go to my website, bishopjameslong.com/paranormal. I have a page specifically for individuals who need my assistance. So that a lot of people ask me, don't send me a message on TikTok. I have over 12,000 messages on TikTok. I can't answer all of them, folks. I just can't. I work sometimes 50 hours a week as a hospital chaplain. So I don't have time to go through 12,000 messages, nor should I be expected to. And I have 10,000 emails. So here's what I want you to do. If you need my assistance and you're having legitimate issues, and here's why I say that. There was a situation where it was in Milwaukee, and I'm in Kentucky, and that's like close to a 10-hour drive. And the grandmother was terrified. I mean, she was terrified because her granddaughter was living with her. She was convinced that her granddaughter was possessed. And so the grandmother begged, and she was in heart failure. The grandmother was in heart failure and begged me to come to their family and help. So here I am figuring out, how in the world am I going to do this? I was able to raise like $200, which was helpful, but it ended up being like close to $1,300 to get to her. And that took a lot of money to save, my own personal money. So I drove almost 10 hours to get to this place. I show up. The granddaughter, I think she was like 14. As soon as I show up, she falls to the floor like a fish out of water, flailing around and all this other stuff. And at that very moment, I knew what was happening. I was furious. Because there are people who legitimately need my help. And the reason is I was furious because I knew this was all a show. And with the biggest Bishop Long, deepest voice I could possibly, I said, sit down and shut up. And I told her to sit down. She looked at me and her eyes got really big and she stopped flaying around like a fish out of water. I said, sit down. And I lectured her for a good half. I just really lectured her. How dare you? How dare you? Play this game and get me involved in this, have me come all the way from Kentucky, and then cause all this stress and grief on your grandmother who's in heart failure. And we found out that the whole reason she did it is because her grandmother wouldn't buy her something that she wanted. I forgot what it was. And so this was her way of getting back at her grandma. Grandmother's in heart failure. And her grandmother was terrified. She was on the phone with me crying, begging me to help. Grandmother lives on obviously very limited income. So here I am trying to raise funds. Here I am trying to save my own personal money, put money to the side. I have to pay my bills. I do work. I teach online English. So every time I paid a bill, I'd put a little bit more to the side, to the point where I had enough to drive all the way and rent a car and drive all the way over just for this girl, because she was wanting to get in the back of her grandma because she was talking about mad. So I say that because a lot of people think that just because you hear a noise that you got a demon in your home. Stop it. No. And paranormal teams, stop going to people's homes and immediately saying to them, oh, you have a demon. You have a demon in your home. Stop it. Just stop it. That is so irritating, because that's what paranormal investigators are doing. These homeowners are looking at you, and they're looking at you as the experts. And then people come right in and immediately, without even investigating, oh, I feel a demon. I feel a demon. Now you scare the hell out of the parents because they're trying to protect their children. They don't know what's going on. And then the paranormal investigators are leaving. They're just walking away. Okay, thanks for letting us come to your home. Well, what do we do about the demons? Well, you'll have to contact clergy. So basically, you just used us so that you can put it on social media so you can get your likes and become famous in the paranormal. Great. This is what I deal with. This is what I see all the time. I had already just today, I had 14 phone calls from different individuals who just went through that same problem. 14 paranormal teams going to their home. Oh, you got a demon. It's wanting to kill your children. And then they leave. They offer no resolution, nothing. 14 phone calls just today alone. And I get the phone calls. So that's why I get irritated. Because I think it's just so, you don't do that to people. You do not do that to people. That is wrong. It's evil, terrible evil. I don't have children. I don't have a wife. I am celibate. I have taken a vow of celibacy, and I have been celibate for quite some time. When I took my vows as a Benedictine in 2007, I took a vows of celibacy, and so I've devoted my entire life to this ministry. But just because I don't have children, that doesn't mean that I can't empathize with moms, single moms or dads, who are really legitimately terrified. They're scared. And then paranormal teams come right on in. Oh, you got a demon, you got a demon, you got a demon. And then they walk right on out. No, you don't do that to people. You don't do that to people. That's terrible. That is terrible. So yeah, it really irritates me when people do that. And a lot of paranormal teams are doing that. A lot of them are. And that really needs to stop. So, oh yeah, in the Mexican-Arizona border. Yeah, I've never been there. I don't know what happened there. Well, Carl Thompson 631 is asking, have I ever seen anyone possessed that levitated? I don't know if you would. I get this is a form of levitation to where I've seen someone where their body was in like in a V shape, so their head was here, down here, their torso was here, and their feet were down here, and it was very unnatural. I mean, literally, it was like someone took a string and just pulled them up just like that. So so they were obviously flat, and so the torso is in the middle of my fingers here, and I saw this just like this, and it was like in a perfect V shape. I was convinced that was going to break the person's back, but it didn't. But I've seen that. Oh yeah. Let's see. I'm a criminal lawyer, and I'm required to defend Satanists in Houston. Well, when you say defend Satanists, I'm not really referring. I don't know what you mean when you Satanist. I mean, everyone has a right to a legal defense in this country, and so if you're an attorney, you know that we all have the right, and we are all presumed innocent until proven guilty. So, no matter, regardless of what a person's faith is or lack thereof, separation of church and state. So, yeah, I mean. No, they cannot. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's some people are. A lot of people are playing exorcists, and they got to stop that. And because if they don't do that, then you could get into serious, very, very serious trouble. So just stay away from that. It is not something you should ever do. If you're not trained, then get away from it. And so anyway, yeah. Oh yeah, the purple scapular benediction. Yeah, I'm a Benedictine, so absolutely. And I'm also very, very devoted and dedicated to our Blessed Mother, because the Benedictine community that I belong to is the Old Catholic Benedictines of Immaculate Mary. So yeah, I'm very familiar with the purple scapular, and I own one. So, yep. Okay. Practice. Does it take a lot of practice to perform an exorcism? Well, you study demonology, you study theology, you study angelology, you study the rite. You understand that there are levels. The rite is a process, and so you have the book smart, and which is required, and certainly you have valid ordination, which is obviously required as well. People say, well, no. I can perform an exorcism, and that's all there is to it. And so anybody can do it, and that's the way it goes. Well, no, that's not correct. Because let me remind you, if you want to look at biblical time for the Bible for that, you got to look at Acts chapter 19, verse 13 through 16. So this idea that anybody can perform an exorcism is incorrect. Acts chapter 19, verse 13 through 16. Look it up. It's the sons of Sceva. They were running around performing exorcisms on people in Jesus' name. But yet they were not trained. They were not true believers. And the demon said, Jesus I know, Paul I recognize, but who are you? And then attacked them. And people also forget that one part, that pretty important part, because Jesus told his disciples to go and cast out demons. But what did he do before he said that to them? He breathed the Holy Spirit upon them. Ordination. And then he said to cast out demons. People seem to want to forget that step and just go immediately out and start playing exorcists. Well, go ahead. I'm not the exorcist police. But then when you do that, and the person dies on you or has a heart attack or has a stroke, and you don't have the medical team there, or you've not had a psychological evaluation performed first, and the person enters in psychosis and commits suicide, or you perform an exorcism on someone just because you want, because you believe, fine, and then the person dies, now you have involuntary manslaughter charges. Don't come crying to me. What are the steps a paranormal team, I guess, should follow when they go to investigate a location? Is it just to validate a haunting? Well, that's a great question. Anytime, and that's Earth Radio asked a great question. And this is important. I get thousands of requests for help. And I have performed 30. Now, I want you to listen to this carefully. I get thousands of requests. And I have performed 30 documented exorcisms on people who were validly possessed in 20 years. 30. So number one, it's rare, but it does occur. So I'm very worried about paranormal teams going into someone's home. Let's say that they're seeing a demon. They say, I think I'm possessed. So you go into that person's home. You don't know that person. You don't know their history. You could be walking into someone's home who's paranoid schizophrenic. And that could put everyone in danger. So I always ask them, do you have a history of mental illness? Have you been diagnosed mentally ill? Are you taking any medications for mental illness? What are the medications you're taking? Because some medications can cause hallucinations. And you need to ask these questions. I went to, when I was first starting investigating, and I'm telling you because from personal experiences, I went to someone's home where the woman claimed that she saw demons in her home. So I was like, I need to get to her home. So I went to her home, and I was in her kitchen, and I saw puncture holes in the walls, thousands of them. I mean, I have never seen so many puncture holes in my life. And I thought, what on earth is going on here? I mean, and I asked her, I said, why are all these holes in your wall? I mean, it was holes everywhere. And she looked at me real serious, and she says, well, and then she grabbed the broom, and she said, every time I see that demon, I stab it. And what she did is she cut off at the end of the broom, she cut the broom off, And she put a massive, I mean, one of these great big Michael Myers knives out. She duct taped the knife at the end of the pole or the stick of the handle of the broom. And she showed me this thing. And with her eyes huge, and it just, I stab it every time I see it. Well, excuse me. I think I forgot one of my meters out in my car. Let me just head on her. That was a lesson learned. That was a very serious lesson learned. And so that's why I tell people, you got to, if you're a paranormal investigator and you're going to people's homes and they're claiming they're seeing demons, look, there's one of four things that's going on there. One, they're mistaken. That can happen. They think they're hearing things, but it can be explained logically. Two, they just want to meet you. Or they want to meet a paranormal celebrity, or they just want to have that type of connection with somebody. Three, they're mentally ill. Or four, they're telling you the truth. And so you got to be very careful, obviously, with the mental illness or telling you the truth, because if you walk into a location that truly is demonically infested, what are you going to do? And if you walk into a location where someone is mentally ill, I mean, they could cause harm. So you just got to be careful with that. Well, the signs of possession are, well, there's several. I mean, you can have extreme strength, but that can also be a sign of PCP. When I was a chaplain for the police department, I saw several individuals that it took some big, strong police officers to take them down. I mean, really strong police officers, and they were struggling. And so that can be explained logically. But if the person, also the eyes will go black, but that can also be a sign of neurological condition too. Or they could have a knowledge of language that they don't know. They've never ever studied. Aversion to religious objects, an extreme aversion sometimes to religious objects. You can have a total personality change. But again, many of these things, people say, well, it mimics mental illness. Mental illness does not cause you to levitate. Mental illness does not give you the ability to know languages that you've never studied before. Mental illness does not cause you to contort your body in a way that's very unnatural, that you just simply cannot do naturally by yourself. Mental illness does not cause you to have what's ability called retrocognition or prognostication. So these are things that we can rule out mental illness when they obviously have those signs. Yeah, and thank you again for tapping the screen. I appreciate that. Thank you. That's very, very kind of you. 97,000 likes. Holy moly. We might get 100,000. We might just break the 100,000 like marker here and I think we're probably going to do it on tonight's show. So on TikTok, we're at 98,000, well, almost 99,000. Oh, there we go. 99,000 likes. That's amazing. That is truly amazing. I appreciate that very much. And there we are, 100,000 likes. We just made it. That is just phenomenal on TikTok. So thank you. Those of you who are liking the presentation, I sincerely appreciate all of you. Moderators, thank you very much. And that's a great question. Inspector's asking, is there a way to cleanse a house of poltergeist activity? Okay. Folks, I have worked poltergeist cases. Now, again, I'm not telling you something that is an opinion. I'm telling you based on the cases that I have worked, what happened, what has worked, and what has not worked. Okay, so from my personal experience working poltergeist cases, poltergeist means noisy ghost. From my experience, is not a ghost at all. It is negative energy. And that's not paranormal. Einstein even talked about energy. Look, you're walking down the street, someone's walking towards you. You don't know them, but you know you don't want to know them. They are emitting such negative energy. You're like, nope, I'm staying away from them. I don't. That's energy. The same way a person can walk in a room, not say a word, and people flock to that person. That's positive energy. It's all energy. I have found with the poltergeist cases that I have worked that the poltergeist is not a ghost. It is negative energy that someone or individuals are omitting because they're going through extreme emotional stress. So the number one form of destruction with poltergeist is fire. Your electrical appliances will be going off. Light bulbs are constantly popping. You'll hear bangings. The doors sometimes will be open and shutting by themselves. Glass shatters. It mimics very much a demonic infestation. I can perform 1 million minor rite of exorcisms in a home with a poltergeist, and it does nothing. It will do nothing. What I have found from the cases that I have worked is that when you finally get to, okay, who's going through the extreme emotional stress? Because once you get them out of the house, the activity stops. And sometimes you might have residual energy, but it's very limited. You bring them back into the home and the activity increases all up again. So I have found that when you find out what's going on and who's going through the extreme emotional stress, and if you get them counseling, the activity stops. That's how I have worked. That is how I have been successful with the poltergeist cases. In every poltergeist case that I have worked, in every one, it has been concluded successfully by getting the individuals the counseling they need to remove that negative energy. Now, can a demonic entity attach itself to the poltergeist? Certainly. And it can do that because people start investigating your home. And people, thank you very much. And thank you for the gifts on TikTok. I appreciate that. People ask me, why can't you investigate your home? Do not do that. Because number one, you have an emotional connection to your home, obviously, because you're the one who's living there. And if there is a demonic entity that's present, the moment you begin to say, what is your name? Why are you here? Can you make a noise? Can you touch me? Can you push me? Can you, whatever it might be, that's a form of invitation. That's the invitation that the demonic needs. So you don't want to do that. You're emotionally invested already in the situation because it's your home. And that's where it traps you. And many times with a demonic, it will pretend to be a child. And you think, oh, it's a child, it's not going to harm us. And then you start using Ouija boards and things of this nature. Stay away from it. Don't investigate your home. Have a team come in that's reputable, that's been in the field for a long time, that doesn't think everything is demonic, that tries to debunk the activity. That's where you need to go. Yeah, and people are asking, I'm getting a lot of messages on Facebook Messenger again. So again, let me just let you know, this is the St. Michael necklace. I did get that today. So if you want your St. Michael necklace, I don't have a huge amount, but I do have a decent amount. You can buy yours today. The only thing that I ask you to do, which I think is fair, is go to bishopjameslong, LONG.com. bishopjameslong.com. Scroll down to where it says ministry expenses, and I ask that you please make a donation of $30 to cover the shipping of the necklace, because I pay for shipping in the United States. And I'll also send you a gift with that as well. And I will bless it. I bless it for free as a courtesy. So yes, I will do that for you. But bishopjameslong, LONG.com. Now, before we leave, because we have just a few minutes left, gosh, it flew by. Thank you very much, Mr. Producer. I want to also remind you of night prayer. People like to criticize a lot, and I don't quite understand what the point of that. Someone criticized me the other day, well, you never pray Psalms. I pray Psalms every day of my life. And we have night prayer Monday through Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we pray the Psalms. So if you want to join us at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard, everyone is invited. You can go to Spreaker, Spreaker, Spreaker.com/show/night prayer. Night prayer is all one word. Now, Mr. Producer, are you ready for this giveaway that I'll be giving this book away? Okay. Yeah, Mr. Bruce. Okay. We're going to do this. First, we're going to do this here. I'll give 2 books away. We're going to do this here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, and then I'll do it with you guys in just a second. The question for you guys, tell me the website that produces these shows. You're able to do that? The first one who puts it in there, you'll get it. And then you need to contact, send me something on Facebook, and we go from there. So I need to know the website name. This is not for TikTok. Hold on, TikTokers. I want you guys to tell me the website name that produces my shows. And if you get it, I'll send this to you, and I'll tell you, you got to contact me on Facebook. Yep, Maria got it. KGRADB.com. That is correct. Maria Wilson. What I need you to do is send me a message on Facebook, please. Here, that's the site. Make sure you go there and say, hey, I'm Maria Wilson, and I won your book on TikTok. Or not on Facebook or YouTube, because you're for YouTube. And then I'll send that to you. But make sure you send that message right there, facebook.com/Bishop James Long. Okay, please do that. And then I'll send that to you. So Maria, KGR, you have it. You got it. Oh, good. She's in Kentucky. TikTokers. Here is the question. And again, if you know the answer, then you send it to facebook.com/Bishop James Long. If you get this answer correct, I'll send you a book too. So I have to have it. I don't know your address. So if you win it, go to facebook.com/Bishop James Long. Okay. Here's the question for you. TikTokers, please tell me the website name of the company that produces my shows. The first person gets it. And moderators, I need your help. Moderators, please watch very carefully, because I'm going to be slammed with answers. Please tell me the website URL name of thank you very much, of the company that produces the shows on Friday, the website. I just asked the question and no one's putting it down. Not the Vatican. No, it's not the Vatican. Come on. Somebody's got it. You gotta put it in the chat. No, it's not USOCC. You gotta put it in the chat room. Don't send it to me on Facebook. That's if you win. The name, where's the rewind? The name, not Spreaker. The name, nope, not USOCC.org. The name of the company that produces the show, the website. I gotta wrap it up. KG, close, Casey, close. Okay. No, folks, we got to wrap it up. I'm sorry. The time's up, because we got to end the show. We'll have to do one next week. It's KGRADB.com. That's the name of the website. Make sure you subscribe. Put Bishop on the promo code. My friends, I tell you all the time, and I'm going to say goodnight to you guys on Spreaker, and have a beautiful, beautiful evening, and hope to see you soon. I tell you all the time, my friends, your value does not decrease based on someone's inability or refusal to see your worth. Remember, you're priceless, and never let anybody convince you otherwise. Good night. Have a great weekend. The Sacred Division has been brought to you by Bishop Long's online paranormal course. Learn demonology, angelology, paranormal studies, and genealogy. It's 100% online, and you learn at your own pace. Please go to www.bishopjameslong.com and click on the paranormal course link.